Hey everyone, this is Adrian here, and welcome back to Crime Fairies. So I have a guest with me. I have Marilyn here, and her daughter right now is missing. I'm gonna let her take over and explain what happened the day that she went missing, and hopefully we can bring her home. Or actually, even the day before. Like, what is there anything that would have led up to this?
She'd been grounded from her phone, and she was still communicating with her boyfriend that we weren't supposed to know about. Sometimes your parents know things that you don't think they know. Found a phone that she'd been hiding the day she went missing. Yeah, it was Friday. So the day she went missing, she went to work. She took her brother with her because he works there too. She came home. He came inside and went back outside like 5 minutes later, and she was gone. Her car was gone. She was gone. I called the police right away. Since we knew about the boyfriend, my stepdaughter, who was near the boyfriend's house, went over and checked, see if she was there. They saw her car there. They saw her and the boyfriend get in the car and drive away. It was the last time any of us saw her.
I was gonna say, and you live in Eagle Mountain now, but you did live in South Jordan as well?
She was going to school there.
Okay.
But we used to live in West Valley right before we just had barely moved to Eagle Mountain when this happened a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, almost. Saturday evening, I get a text message from a spoof number saying, "It's Nellie, I'm safe. This is for the best." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Why did you leave?" And everything was really vague, and she didn't really answer my questions. It's a few things of, these things need to be different. I don't want to strain between us. And I was like, what's going on here? On Father's Day, we tried to call her. She won't talk to me on the phone. But my ex-father-in-law, her grandpa, talked to her briefly on the phone, and she was really quiet. He had a hard time understanding her. He said at one point he heard a door open, and it sounded like someone came in, and he could hear voices, someone talking, but he couldn't understand it because it was mumbled. Prior to that, he got her to say that how much she cared about her family and the importance of family. And then after this door opening, she changed her tune completely. My mom doesn't understand me. This is for the best. I'm not coming home. And then we haven't been able to talk to her on the phone since. We've tried, but again, it's a spoof number, so the police haven't been able to track it. Occasionally I'll get a text message. It's been several days. But usually they're very vague. She's not answering specific questions like, what caused you to actually leave though? Why would you just take off? And she was just like, things that lately haven't been very good. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not getting a specific answer from her. Yeah, there's a lot of concern, obviously, concern with her mental health, concern with her physical safety. Yeah. What other details did you want?
With those text messages, do they sound like her? Or do they sound like someone else might have wrote them?
Some of the vocabulary is things I've never heard her say.
Okay.
Like mitigate and stuff like that. I mean, she's an intelligent person, but it's just not something she usually uses.
Okay.
Like she's good with robotics and electronic stuff like that, programming, but I don't hear her use that kind of vocabulary very often. This sounds terrible, but there are some spelling errors she usually makes. So it seems like it's her that's possibly texting.
Okay.
But some of the vocabulary she's using sounds out of character for her.
So maybe someone's coaching her through it?
Yeah, that's the impression I've gotten. Like some of the things that she said sound formulaic, but I can't prove that. That's just my impression. It sounds like someone's trying to coach her through something. Maybe it's someone who thinks that they have her best interest at heart, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, because you can tell a lot by a text if just in the way that they talk and the misspelling. I'm guilty of misspelling a lot because I have dyslexia, so I always have to.
So does she.
So yeah, see, with the grandpa that has spoken to her, did he record that at all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he was surprised that he was able to actually talk to her.
Okay.
She respects him a lot and admires him a lot, and he's he put this by the book person, like, this is how it's going to be and you're going to do it this way. So she's like, okay, I will listen to you.
Gotcha.
Well, usually.
But it could be helpful if anyone might have any cameras, because then maybe we could track where she has gone. if she has left the house. Do you think that there's a possibility she could still be at that house?
There's a possibility, but the police have been there a couple times, and family members have been there a few times, and no one's seen or heard anything. So I don't know if she would still be there, but he definitely must know where she is, because he claims to be so in love with her, he would die for her. No one loves as strong as they love, that kind of a thing. But he hasn't looked for any updates at all from us. He hasn't sought any information from us whatsoever. So if you care so much, why are you not checking to make sure she's okay?
Has he reached out to any of her friends?
Nope.
That is very odd. But it sounds like like you said, he might know where she is
Yeah.
because he was one of the last people to see her.
Yeah.
And then you said that you've gotten a few tips. Is this tips like of where her car might have been that people called in, or?
One police officer saw her car. It was like Midvale near Holiday, that kind of Midvale area, but it was like a large divided road. So he saw it going the opposite way. So he went forward and he flipped a U-turn, but by the time he got there, the car was gone down one of the side streets there. And I guess somebody called trying to find a different place for her, but they claimed they were in Holiday. And I think it got around to me. So someone who said they knew they were taking care of Nellie was in Holiday, but they couldn't track that number either. And the boyfriend had his location left on one of the apps on his phone. So one of their mutual friends, and I also know the student, he let me know, hey, his location keeps pinging in downtown Salt Lake. And so he sent me like the location. So I went down there. There were several hotels down there, and so we went and talked to them. The main hotel we looked at was huge, so I give the pictures of her to the manager, checked the parking garage, looked for the car. It was near City Creek Shopping Center, so I went there, talked to security there, give them her information and picture. So those are the main areas it's focused on. She used her school email, so I was able to get an IP address, but it pinged several different places. One of them was the Salt Lake County Library in downtown Salt Lake.
Okay.
So that might be where she was accessing her email, which it's hard to track her from there, but that would be downtown Salt Lake. At least she was emailed a couple people saying that they're like, hey, come visit me at the fireworks tent. These people know she's missing that have emailed her. They're trying to get her in there. She's like, well, I can't really do that right now. And so she's very evasive. They're like, hey, we're doing a fundraiser. Why don't you come to the fundraiser? But she's like, well, I can't really do that right now. And so they're trying to get her out.
That's odd that, she's like, okay, this is for the best. That almost kind of sounds like either someone is fully coaching her through all this, but trying to make it sound like she has some sort of freedom. I mean,
yeah.
When I was in my situation, especially with the downtown, that's where I think 300 or 400 South was around where that building was, where they kept me.
South is one of the places.
Yeah.
That's scary.
I mean, if you just looked at it, it looked like a vacant building, but you go through the backside and go up the stairs and it's a whole sex ring there, right there. So yeah.
That's so
scary. My ex also would text my family members on my behalf and coach me through stuff like that. And I mean, there was always threats of your sister, your mom.
It's hard not to. You want to hope for the best, but it's like, what is the best in this scenario, really? It might have been something like she felt she was going to go run away or be independent, and now she's left to some other devices and she's more vulnerable because she thought that she could just do whatever she wanted or whatever. And there's also her biological dad's mother had bipolar disorder.
Okay.
Had did exhibit some running away, but a day or two and then come back. But we're heading into 2 weeks. That's the part that's really worrisome. It could be a combination of all these different things. It could be that she had some kind of psychic break, like mental break. I don't know how to
Yeah.
talk, but
No,
I'm not
you're
very
good.
eloquent.
Or a manic episode. Thing too that there was other people in the background of that, and then as soon as they came in, she acted totally different. That to me suggests that she might be being coached by someone else that's
I
there.
think it could be a combination of those two things as well. And that's one of the frustrating things is I don't know what's happening and I don't know for sure. Like everything kind of, there's just so many unanswered questions. Nothing adds up.
Yeah. Um, do you think that she would go anywhere outside of Utah?
I don't think the only place she has connections to people is Texas,
Okay.
but those family members all know that she's missing and they would probably get in a plane with her and fly her home
Okay.
if she did that. Um, Trying to think if there be she doesn't really have a lot of connections outside. Maybe Idaho, but again, that's family who would also probably take her home. So I think most of her connections are in the greater Salt Lake area.
Okay. So, all right. So she did leave on her own, saying last at the boyfriend's house in Daybreak. But she's been kind of pinged all over, like in the downtown area, Salt and the Holiday. Kind
Another
of.
thing that happened right before she left on Friday is she'd been at work, right? And then her brother's waiting in the car for her for them
Mhm.
to ride home together. He said that Nellie went into her friend's car and talked to her friend for a little bit, and then got in her car, and then drove him home, right? But so I went to her work, and I talked to the managers to see if they knew what was going on. They talked to that coworker, and she said, "Well, I don't know where she is, but I know that she's safe." And I was like, "How would you know she's safe if you didn't know?" But Nellie had, like, her actual phone that we were paying for was at the house. So I finally got a hold of this friend and and I tried to get some information out of her. And she's like, "Well, yeah, she came and we talked, and then she used my phone to make a quick phone call. And she said she's going somewhere safe, but I don't know anything else." And I said, "Okay, well, what number did she call?" And she's like, I don't know, because I have a lot, it wasn't a saved number, and I have a lot of unsaved numbers in my phone. And I was like, "So you couldn't just look at the time?"
Yeah, like
Or
it would be around the same time. It would either probably be this one or this one right here.
yeah, like it was close to midnight, so it would have been the last one yesterday, the first one, last one on Friday, or the first one Saturday, right around there. Give me a couple choices and I can whittle it down, or the police can or something. But she was really elusive to that. But again, she's also a minor, so that kind of runs into some sticky situations. I
Mhm.
did give the police that information too, and they were trying to see if they could figure out if she knew or if it was even her family that Nellie was staying with or what's going on. But just, it was weird.
So I know that you can pull phone records and stuff, get a billed statement. So if her parents are paying for that, maybe even her parents, I don't know if you've talked to them, would be
I
willing
don't have her
to.
contact information. Just know her through my kids' work. And so my son didn't have her contact information. He didn't even know her last name, but the schedule that they had sent to Nellie on her phone had the name of the coworkers, and that's how we found the last name. So it was just, yeah, some people who know what's going on that aren't saying something, or they know something, they think they know something.
That's so frustrating too. That well, she's safe. Like okay, but
But yeah, like, why are you trying to not let us have access to her? What are you doing? And I guess the other thing that really blows my mind yeah, she was grounded leading up to this, and she was transferring schools and we moved. There's a lot of transition, but she was so excited for her new bedroom, and the bathroom that she was by her. She was almost exclusively her bathroom. She had been buying stuff to decorate it. She had just enrolled in the CNA program to go to MTech and become a CNA in the fall program. So by January, if she does well, she would be a CNA, and she was so excited for that
yeah.
because she could actually get her own job and be working towards a career in the medical field if that's what she wanted to do, that kind of a thing. So it was just like, what? Like, in that case, the bipolar thing would make sense, but it still seems like someone's coaching her. There's still something else there that's not adding up.
Yeah. Well, and it's something to, it sounds like something that she's trusted some of her peers with, and they,
Or,
for whatever reason, don't want to tell. Either they are afraid they're going to get in trouble or something.
or what the thought process is in this whole thing. And I don't know. I don't know what to think, and I don't know what else to. I feel I'm trying every lead I can get, but I feel
Right.
like I just keep hitting walls. Like they've been looking into these things, but it seems like it's kind of a weird vibe. Like sometimes some police officers I talk to are like, "Oh, we got to investigate this and figure this out," and some are like, "Well, run away's come home," that kind of a thing usually. And I'm just it's frustrating to me of just this is weird the way she's acting,
Yeah.
and even if she's completely safe mentally, this is not in character for her. So something needs to happen. We need to something. I don't know how to put this. Like this needs to be investigated. Like whether that be a psychiatric evaluation when or something when we find her, or what, because it's weird to just be having these plans, be excited for things, and then just completely go on the lam.
Yeah. Did she like take any money or anything?
She had her wallet with her, but her bank account still had money in it when she took off.
That's kind of odd too. Like if you
So
plan
I don't.
on leaving most of the time, like you you take all of your money, you know?
You empty your bank account. Yeah, it seemed like if it seemed very sporadic and surprising because I knew that she was feeling annoyed. She's a teenager. Obviously, she's annoyed with me sometimes, often, and it happens. I understand that's how that goes, but just to take off was really surprising to me, and to take off for this long because I can see you getting frustrated and be like, I'm just gonna like go to the gas station by myself, even though you really should let your parents know so they know you're safe. But I can see like taking off for a little bit to get a mental break. But it's weird. She would usually like when she wanted to buy something, she'd take out the money in cash and she'd have some left over just for like
Hmm.
spur of the moment thing. She liked it when the tamale lady came by our house and buy tamales. She only accepts cash, so you got to have $22 on you at all times at least. But yeah, it was. She still had a couple hundred left in her account when she took
Hmm.
off. So I don't know. Like if yeah, it seems weird. That's like it seemed very sporadic. Maybe it was just an impulse. And again, maybe if it was a manic episode, then it would have been that would have also possibly been impulsive. But
Right.
and who did she talk to and what did she say when she made that phone call?
Yeah, that's kind of odd. And it's odd that, a lot of her friends like, oh well, she's safe. But I mean, she's been missing now for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks. That's
Yeah.
it's too long.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm feeling that a lot. And we're all feeling it here. And we're trying to the difficult part, another difficult part of it, it's all difficult, is I can't just totally abandon my other kids too and be like, all my energy is focused on your sister, but at the same time, we're all struggling with it. And I still have to find her. It's like
Yeah.
constant, like mommy guilt to the nth degree. You know what I mean? It's care of them and how they're dealing with all this too. And it's just,
Yeah. So if she doesn't have a lot of money, I'm sure that too, her car's probably ran out of gas by now. So someone else has to be either paying for it or she's hedging rides somewhere else or she's doing like public transportation.
or just staying in the same place the whole time. I don't know.
So besides that boyfriend, do you have any other ideas of where she would have gone if she went anywhere?
Like the coworker was one that kind of was like, well, that's weird that you would say those things. So I worried about that. Everyone else that I've thought of, I've talked to in person, and they've seemed genuinely shocked. Like people we knew when we lived in West Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were out of town, like on vacation, but it's not like they're like, oh yeah, I was gone. But like
Okay.
that kind of, they were actually out of town when she went missing. Yeah, and most of her friends, I know their parents, and most of them would be are the kind of people, like, if one of my friends' kids showed up, I'd be like, all right, get in the car, I'm taking you home.
Right.
Maybe that's me, but
I would probably be like, okay, let's talk, let's sit down. And then I'd like call their parents and let them know, hey, look, they're right here. They need a minute or whatever, but I have them. They're safe. Physically, I have them, and let them know,
not just, oh, well, good luck.
Yeah.
You should really think about going home, that kind
and
of.
Maybe spend a night, but that would be it.
You'd still let everyone know.
I mean, especially that downtown ping, that, I don't know, that kind of worries me from what I've been through, because I know a lot of the times, sometimes I'd stay like up in one of those things for a few days, and I couldn't even get out. Like they locked doors and everything. So like, there was no way for me to physically get out. So yeah, that is one thing. And how many days has it been since you guys got any leads at all?
Any leads at all? Probably 4 days or 5 days. So the trail is kind of drying up, and we're just trying to follow anything what we can, and retracing steps. And there are only a couple million people around here. We got to find her eventually, right?
Hopefully. One thing that the public can do to help here. So if you have Ring doorbells, you have dash cams, you have anything like that, even if you don't want to go through, like, oh, I don't want to sit here and go through them all. If you want to send me a zip file of it and you send it to crimetheoriespodcast@gmail.com, feel free to send that to me. I'll go through those. I'll go through them for you. You don't have to. If you just want to send me the zip file of them, and then we can, check that off and be like, all right, well, she wasn't there at this time. I mean, I want to say for businesses, I know that there's a lot of local businesses around here too. If you're willing to just look through your video footage, or let us look through your video footage, let us post posters, anything like that, that can help out tremendously. The more people that know about it and see about it, the more people, likely it is for someone to reach out. If you guys see anything at all that you think might be helpful, please feel free to contact us. You can even do it anonymously as well. And do you have a phone number, direct phone number that you give out for these tips and everything?
Yeah, it's on the flyer that I sent you, but yeah, I can say that now if that helps. It's 325-262-2982. Okay. So that's lots of twos.
Okay. And can they text that number as well, or is that just calling?
Yeah, they can text it.
Okay. So you can text it or call it. Feel free. I mean, in anything, every little detail helps, guys. I talked about this last week. Doesn't matter if you think, oh, well, it's not going to matter because, we only saw her for like 2 seconds. Doesn't matter. Send it in. If you think you saw her, send it in, and I'll go ahead. I will post pictures of her. If we get video, we'll post video of her so that we can find out, everything. Because I know that, a little bit of hair change sometimes change your whole look, and makeup or non-makeup, all of that can change on how a person is perceived. So
wearing a beanie.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely to wear beanies, like not really in the heat of the summer, but that would definitely change her.
So I've already gone to the Harmons that's right here. I've asked them for their footage, and if anyone wants to help, feel free to reach out to us as well. We love the searches. If you just want to help post flyers, I mean, even just sharing on social media. If you're busy and you're like, you know what, I can just do this, then do that. But we could use people to hand out flyers. We could use people to call local businesses and see if they've seen anything. We can use people to walk around, see public transportation. I mean, if they've seen anything. So if anyone is interested in helping out, we appreciate it. You can text that number, call that number. You can email me, guys. And as always, thank you so much for coming on and
Thank
letting
you so much for
us. Yeah, and let's find her. Let's bring her home. Let's bring her home because it sounds like she's being coached by someone, and we need to get her out of that situation.
Yes, very much. Well, thank you.
You bet. Okay.